Well, hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, today we're talking about episode 7 of season 4 of Star Trek Lower Decks, the big Badgey, Agamus, Peanut Hamper, Evil Masterminds episode in this season. We're going to go through that, break down the episode, what was good, what was bad, what happened in the episode. But before we do that, I just want to acknowledge the fact that Star Trek Prodigy has a home now. It was just announced today in the news that Netflix has bought Star Trek Prodigy from Paramount CBS. They're going to be running season 1 later this year in 2023, and then we're going to get the premiere of season 2 in 2024. So that's great news that finally Star Trek Prodigy has found a home somewhere, and that we are going to get to see all the episodes and everything in season 2. So that's fantastic news. But let's get on with the review for A Few Badgeys More. So for starters, I enjoy this episode. Whenever we get Badgey and Agamus and Peanut Hamper, they're always kind of quirky episodes. And this was enjoyable. I certainly enjoyed this episode. Although it probably wasn't quite as epic as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a big team-up episode with all of these 3 evil AI units in cahoots. But it essentially was a very separated story. We see Rutherford's eye implant that got ripped out during the, I think it was the season 1 finale that's been floating in space for a while with Badgey's consciousness embedded into it, being salvaged by a Drukmani ship. Badgey kind of convinces them to put it on his face, and a bit like the Borg or whatever, it kind of takes over him and gets on board the Drukmani ship. We then see the Bynars. It's been a long time since we've seen the Bynars. The Bynars were way back in season 1 of Next Generation. I don't think we ever saw them again since then. This time we did, and they're being hassled by the mysterious ship at the beginning of this episode. Again, we get another scene with another race being hassled by the mysterious ship in this episode, like we have in other races, you know, without really learning too much more about what's going on. However, we did get a little bit of an update in this episode, and we found out, as had been theorised and had been kicking around out there in the chatter of comments and everything, that the mystery ship wasn't necessarily destroying vessels, but teleporting them somewhere else. So it would appear that theory has been confirmed, that the mystery ship isn't destroying vessels, it's stealing them. Meanwhile, we've got the guys on the Cerritos mucking around with a grappler on a shuttlecraft that's sort of going a bit astray, and you know, throwing Tendi across the room and Boimler and stuff during some malfunctioning tests and everything. I wonder whether this shuttle's going to come into a story in a future episode, because it had absolutely no bearing on this episode whatsoever. It was just happened to be there and they were messing about with it. So I'm hoping that this shuttle with the grappler is going to come into play somehow in one of the follow-up episodes this season. Otherwise, it's like, what was the point of seeing them putting this grappler on a shuttlecraft if it's not going to be used in an actual part of the story plot for an episode this season? So hopefully that does come back round again. Back at the Daystrom Institute, we see Peanut Hamper and Agamus getting along pretty well. They've tended a very nice crop of tomatoes and watering them and tending them whilst they're busy with their little evil scheming and everything going on. So it was a bit of fun to see Agamus and Peanut Hamper kind of, doing very, domestic kind of chores, yet having grandiose mastermind plans at the same time. We see Badgey taking over the Drukmani ship there. He set up hollow emitters and everything all over the bridge so that he can essentially run the show there. And Tendy's supposed to be off observing a parole hearing for Peanut Hamper, of which we never see a single frame of. While Boimler goes to, see if he can get some intel out of Agamus, because apparently one of Agamus's drones was witness to one of these mysterious ship events that has happened in the previous episodes. Always really fun to hear Jeffrey Combs reprising his role as Agamus, or any Star Trek character for that matter. He's played so many of them over the years, but he's always good value. And this is kind of where the episode sort of, I guess, it diverges into different storylines. And we essentially don't really see much of what's going on with Peanut Hamper in this point of the episode at all. And it ends up essentially cutting back and forth between Badgey, taken over the ship, and he's kind of got dealings with Mariner and Rutherford, while we see Tendi and Boimler having to deal with what Agamus has got planned in his schemes. So this episode, I guess, maybe didn't quite live up to what my expectations assumed it was going to be about, because I thought it was going to be a big team up between all three evil AI, but instead it was kind of like completely separate stories, which weren't bad stories. I just had the assumption that it was going to be a bigger kind of, a bigger team up between the three. Mariner and Rutherford use EV suits to get over to the ship that Badgey's on to try to sort him out, which results in some very interesting turn of events with Badgey in conflict with his good and bad selves when Rutherford tries to give him a hug and show him some love. It splits off into Badgey and Goodgey. The evil and good versions of Badgey, which then obviously splits off again later in the episode to Logicy, which is appealing to his logical side as well. So that was a bit of fun. Every time they tried to kind of talk him around, he'd be in conflict with himself and end up splitting off into different versions. Meanwhile, Agamus takes Tendi and Boimler kind of hostage as he kind of tries to take over the planet Pymeria, and he kind of seems to subjugate the race there pretty quickly. But he's a bit sad because he thought he was going to be doing it with the Peanut Hamper, but Peanut Hamper's gone AWOL. She's nowhere to be found. He's having to do all of the takeovering himself, and it kind of seems like Peanut Hamper sort of ghosted him a bit there. Poor Agamus feels a bit stood up. He's kind of waiting on a beach for her, and she hasn't showed, and he assumes that she's taken over some other planet somewhere else, and he's kind of, trying to out-scheme her supposed scheminess or whatever as well. Instead, she's off on a station somewhere cleaning windows or something, it would seem. Badgey's getting more evil and more evil as he goes on, trying to gas the Cerritos crew, and Rutherford having to kind of, talk him down, and obviously the various different iterations of Badgey, Goodgey, Logicy and everything are trying to thwart his plans. And he ends up uploading himself into all of subspace, which therefore takes over every single Federation starship or station within a certain range. And Badgey kind of attains some kind of form of, godhood, and he has some innate knowledge of all time and space and present in the past, present and future and everything. In some way, sees the error of his ways and goes off to try to take over a different plane of existence, where he kind of uploads himself into the afterlife, I suppose, and he goes and has a visit with the space koala that, is present at the end of life and time. I kind of wonder whether this comment from Badgey saying that he's sort of present or has taken over past, present and future, whether that comes back at the end of the season, and, maybe Badgey has something to do with the mystery ship, perhaps. It kind of feels like we haven't seen the last of Badgey, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of appearance by him by the end of the season, and there was some connection with the mystery ship and him. After all, if you look at the design for the mystery ship and you turn it upside down, it kind of looks a little bit like a cross between the space koala and Badgey in its design. And as mentioned at the start, it appears that, yes, the mystery ship isn't destroying the other ships it encounters. It is, I guess, transporting them somewhere else. So they're being stolen, not destroyed, which, was obviously a theory that was put forward. So that begs the question, are they being stolen for nefarious means or to do some kind of good? We don't know what the motivations of the pilot that's in the mystery ship are. All we know is that there's one life sign within the mystery ship, but what this life form's ultimate plans are, we've yet to find out. So even though Badgey's gone off to take over a higher plane of existence, it appears that Goodgey is back on the Cerritos with Rutherford, and hopefully Goodgey doesn't turn into Badgey again, and that they can trust Goodgey, and hopefully there's no seed of evil there lurking within his programming. Overall, I didn't mind this episode. I think it was quite a decent episode. As I said, probably wasn't as bigger epic episode as I thought it necessarily might be. I thought we were going to get all the three evil AIs all together in a scheme, rather than kind of having them off on completely separate adventures, and we sort of cut back and forth between an A story and a B story involving the different AI characters. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a thought in the comments section. And let me know what you thought of episode 7 of season 4, Star Trek Lower Decks, A Few Badgeys More. And also let me know what you think about the great news that Star Trek Prodigy has found a home with Netflix and will be on our TV screens next year. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, please don't be shy to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. And be sure to check out my merch in the merch store, where you can pick up all cool Star Trek themed t-shirts, hoodies and mugs and caps and stickers and everything for very reasonable bargain prices, and help support the channel at the same time. Guys, I'll be back very soon with my next video. I'll see you then.